Okay, I'm going to show you guys how I make screens. This is not a technique I made up. This is something somebody else taught me. It works great. So we start off, I've got, this is what I like to use for screen. You can do this with fiberglass, you can do it with steel, get whatever, but I like a screen probably just a little over 4.5, and then 6.5 works good, because these are 36 by 84. It just works good. I cut them shooting for 4.5 by 6. They end up a hair smaller than that, but that gives me 8 across and 14 long for I don't know, like 112 or something per roll. So that's what I do. So the first thing is to mark off, and we're going to tape it up. I'll do that and show you the next step. Okay, so the next step, after you got it taped, obviously you got to remark it. I'm using just a cutoff grinder, cutoff blade, and I'm going to cut right straight through that all the way around. The easiest thing, best thing, is if you got a chop saw with a cutoff blade on it. You just hold it up against your fence, cut through, makes nice straight cuts. This is a little rough, but that's what we're going to do, poor man's way. So, once you've got them cut, you're left with just a bunch of rolls. And you come over here. This is the key right here. This thing will just cut them quick like, and you can square your edges up. Makes everything nice and neat. I picked mine up off eBay used for, I don't know, $17 or something. And you just cut them to length and square them up.
I don't know, yeah.
Okay, so you just line them up. And like I said, I'm making mine 6 inches long. And I like to square up the edge. I cut with the cutoff grinder because it's not perfectly square. So I hate those slivers hanging out when I'm trying to do that. When I'm trying to make my set. So pull them up the length and cut. So the last thing I do, and you can do this with 5, 6 at a time, is I take a pair of these 10 snips and I just snip a V out of the top so it looks like this. Because with my Montana traps, when I'm setting them, I like to take them and just stick that so then it stays put. And with my Montanas, I'll set them like that. And I think what I'm going to just do with these bridgers, so I just only have one screen, so on the bridgers I'll just lay them over that. Put the dirt on top. Once the dirt's on there, it'll lay flush. Should work. They got a pretty big pan on them, and that'll just help prevent anything from getting underneath and increase that kill area. I guess then the last thing I do, a couple things. One, you see still a slight bend to these, is I put them all together and I press them between a piece of steel and a lot of weight on top of them. Usually use a piece of this railroad tie or railroad base, whatever. That way they help flatten them out. And then of course I take them all, and what I did last year, and I think I'll just do this year because it's easier. But you can either boil them, or I just threw them in a thing of baking soda and boil them like I do my snares. But you could boil and dye them, but they're going underground, so just want to boil them, get the scent off them, and then just don't handle them. You're ready to go. Got all the screens you need for next season.